G'day viewers, welcome back. Something really outside the box this time, but it still comes down to metal fabrication. My son's a tattooist, so he needs a lot of equipment so that he can help people rest in the correct position. One of those pieces of equipment is an armrest. Now, this is the top of it. It's upside down, obviously. It sits on a base, but it has no adjustment to it. Well, I mean, it just simply has this arcade set up here. A bolt through that piece of tube, and a couple of little tabs bent down. Someone's obviously done that. It didn't come that way. So this time, we're going to make this adjustable. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope I can teach you something, you like what you see, and consider subscribing. Now, as usual, first thing we need to do, pull this apart. Now, as you can see, I've already marked a line across there. That's to give me the width that I need to create a vacant arc. Let's put it that way. This is what I'm going to be using to make that, and we're going to end up with a channel around here, about 8mm wide. Now this point here comes the fun part. That point there is that point there. So basically we're going to have to cut this flat across here, get rid of all that, and then that, let's turn it around because it's got these tabs and it's, yeah, that will line up with that like that, and so it'll end up a little bit like that. Now yes, obviously I've already marked some of this out, but what do I do? Well, first I went on my computer and created this. That shows the overall size, and I don't know why that's pulsing like that. That's really strange. There we go. No, it's back. Sorry guys, I don't know what's doing that, but I hope you can make out. There's the overall size, and through here I've got to drill a series of holes, and that's my center point. That's pretty much what I've marked out on this. So there's our center point. And now I've got to take my calipers and I'm going to draw an arc around here for the outside, and then I'm going to draw another arc for the hole centers. Then I'm going to go around, I'm going to punch about, what is it, well, 15 holes, something like that. There's one hole every 10 degrees if it makes a difference. So that's the next thing. And because I still can't find my center punch, screw right there. That looks pretty good. And from that, I can use that as a base for the calipers. There we go. And around we go. Now that was 65, that's the overall. Now the hole centers need to be 50mm. Now, just to clarify, when I say mil, I mean millimeters. I'm just, yeah, old. So, bring that down to 50. That's it. There. Scribe another arc. There we go. Now I could use a bevel and adjust it for every, using a printed protractor, set it for every 10 degrees and do it that way. That'd be ideal, because then I'd mark one, turn it over and do the other one. But it still seems like a bit of a headache, because you'd have to set it every time you mark a point. I could use this thing, but I'm not going to, because there's a lot involved in that. You've got to line everything up, and if it's out, then the whole thing's scrapped. It's doing that pulsy thing again. Figured out that's a combination of the light above me and the paper. It's just the light reflecting, the pulsing of the light reflecting off the paper. Take it away, it's gone. But because I have it, I'm going to use this, an adjustable protractor. Obviously it's got the flat base there, and it's got a straight edge. And basically you take it around to a, let's go there, that's 145 degrees. Whack it on there, line here up to that dot. That gives me my reference. That gives me my reference point out here. Mark that. Next. Now these scribe marks don't need to be wildly accurate, because, well, it's not going to be wildly accurate. As long as you get your holes pretty close to the same point on the arc. Once we drill them all out, we're going to have to file between each one anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But now drilling. But first, I need to grind that off. That's annoying me. You want to end up with something like that. Closer together the better. It's less filing, because yeah, we are going to have to file all these out. Moving on. Now I realised once I'd punched all these that I kind of made a little bit of a boo-boo. Down here, I wanted to lift it up another 5 or 10 mil. That's why on the paper, you see this big gap down here. There's a line there and a line there. That's equal with the center point, but the other line's down here. It's actually 15 millimeters. Why do I do that? Because that's a 3 mil pilot hole. If I drill that out to 8 millimeters, I'm going to be right on the edge. I have to deal with that. Alright. Now we get out of ice. Because I don't have a bench vise here, I'm going to be using a drill vise. Tuck that in there, tighten it down. And start filing. And of course, yes, I am going to clamp this down so it doesn't go anywhere. And I'm going to start off with a rat tail file just to open them up. And then, I don't know, I might be able to get my half round in there if there's enough space. We'll see how we go. I'm leaving this one in the middle here, so it still has some strength to it. That way it's not just flopping around everywhere. You get the idea. You just keep going until you have something that looks like that. Now, how do we know that this is the right arc? Well, for starters, grab the bolt you intend to use. That's not the one I intend to use. That's the same size though. Run it through the slot. Yeah, that's nice and free all the way around. But is it free on the correct arc? How do we find out? The beauty of a drill press, they're in the way, is that the movable drill is not fixed, not like a bench vise. This jaw moves. It has a certain degree of movement. So, we can put a 1/8 drill bit and an M8 bolt in the same vise. Stay. Of course it doesn't. And, oh well, not quite. Okay, I need to be creative. That's not that hard. That's 3 mil, that's 8 mil. I need a piece of 5 mil steel, or thereabouts. Bit big and intrusive, but that should work. Okay, that'll do it. Okay, put the bolt through there. Put the drill bit through that pilot hole, and I just lost it. No, it won't. So now, put the drill bit through the pilot hole. Pop that in there. Pop your bolt in there. Both tight. There's your radius. Swing it. It's a bit notchy, but if you notice, that bolt's actually crooked, and it's probably not dead on 50mm anyway. Let's find out. Oh, it's pretty close. If anything, I need to come in. But there we go. That's fine. Alright, on to the next step. And of course, the next logical step is cut it out. You've noticed I stayed above the line. We're going to lineage that down to the line. You probably also noticed that I kept going back on myself. Like I'd get to a point and then I come back and cut again. It's because 1/2 inch blade will only cut down to a certain radius, which is just a little bit bigger than that. So back up and recut further in, and I managed to get around it, and it's kind of neat. But we're gonna, as I said, we're gonna clean that up on the lineager right now. Just as soon as I replace the belt. Better. Be honest, doesn't really matter what that edge looks like. Doesn't matter if it, because it's not going to be any against anything. You're not going to see it. It's not going to interfere with anything. So yeah, as long as it's neat, there you go. And back in the vise, just to give it a quick tidy up. Now we got the really interesting bit. Like that. Part of that. Right. Now here's the tip of the week. Now, how did I draw that line? Well, with a ruler, of course. No, kidding. basically I know how far, what the distance is that I need. It's 130 millimeters. Now I could have measured to that center point, marked down here, measured out 65 and then up this way, but I'll show you a much easier way. Put your ruler across until you find, well, it's not that far down because I can't go that far down. I was gonna, you know what, here's the thing. Alright, it's 130 millimeters from that point to that point. Doesn't matter what angle it's on. Mark both ends. There's one there and there's one there. Just mark that there. Now, go from the base and measure up to those marks on the top edge. There's one, and that's 49 millimeters. And the other one over here is 59 millimeters, or thereabouts. So that tells you that's 49, that's 59. Add the two together, you get 108. Divide that by 2, you get 54. So now measure up 54. Mark that. Go over the other side. Measure up 54. Mark that. Well, what do you know? Both those marks are on that line. Alright, I've been rummaging around for a screw or something that I can put in here that has a head about the same size as that hole. I was hoping to find something with a short shank on it that had a countersunk head, that because the right size is not going to go through that and it's going to self-center. Unfortunately, couldn't find anything like that, so I'm stuck with that, which is just a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller than the hole, I mean. So, just going to have to go with that. Alright, put that in. And it doesn't want to go. I'll get in there. Give it a bit more torque. There we go. Alright. Now that'll sit in there. And yeah, as I said, there's a tiny little bit of movement. No big deal. But now, we're going to use that trick I showed earlier to level this up, and then we're going to clamp these two together. Because then I can mark where I need to cut. So, that's obviously not straight, so this end needs to go up a little bit. About there, see how that end looks. No, a bit more. That's probably too much now. Yeah, I think that's too much. Because it's a moving target, see? There we go. As long as it's right in the centre, you get measurements the same on both ends, you're good to go. Clamp it. That's too loose. That's too tight. Split the difference. That'll do. Okay, now we've clamped, let's just triple check it. 35, 35, 35. Right. There we go. Now, I'm not going to use the paint pen to do this. I'm going to use a scriber because it's a finer line. It's a more accurate line. So just there. Down there. And down there. Now, because these sides are rounded, the ends, they're going to be a bit difficult to match up. So what I might even do is just square those ends off and then reset it, remark this so that I get a neat fit. Because, as I said, cutting round with a grinder, that's not going to, well, it's not going to end well. Alright, that's cut out. But is it the right size? No. But that's a good thing. We don't want big gaps. So from there, I deliberately cut it too small inside the lines. So now we just trim down until we get it right. That's pretty close. I'm happy with that. Now, we've got to get both pieces and take all the coatings off. Because that's zinc, you don't want to be welding that. That's powder coat. That's got to be fun. Here's your tip of the week. When removing zinc for welding, how do you know you've removed the zinc? I'm hoping this shows up on camera. You see this line here? That's the edge of the zinc. When you see, it's actually a different, well, it's still silver, but it's a different shade, it's a different colour. And you can actually see it. There we go, you can see it over here. There's a distinctly different colour there. You can see a line there. That's the edge of the zinc. So that's all removed, that's all good. And you probably notice I also bevel the edges. That's so I can get right deep into the weld. So now I've just got to clean that, set up for welding. So, how are we going to weld that so it's absolutely dead flat, especially on this warped timber surface? Simple. Big chunk of steel. We put that in there. We clamp it all down. Then we weld it. Then we flip it over, weld it again. So now I'm going to let that sit there and cool. Come back in about 10 minutes and we'll grind that down. No, I don't need to clamp it down on here. I'm going to anyway, just to keep it as flat as I possibly can. Well, that's all the welding for now. Again, let that sit and cool, and then we'll come back and grind that side. Then, apart from opening up that hole, this piece is done. What we were looking for. Right, now just got to drill out that hole to 8mm. Then we can start on the other piece. Now I'm going to go 2-stage on this. I'm not going to go straight out to 8mm because it's so close to that weld. It may want to try and push it away from the harder steel, because when you weld, MIG weld, it hardens the steel. So I'm going to go out to 6 first, just to give it a bit of a fighting chance. Then I'll go back through it with the 8mm. There we go. And I just realised in here have a lot of spatter from the welding. So I'm going to have to just hit that real quick, get rid of all that, because that will cause a problem. There we go, that's better. And if you thought making that was interesting, fun hasn't even started yet. So that seems like a logical place to stop. Here's a sneak peek of what we're going to do next time. tell what's wrong with that. So make sure you tune in for that. In the meantime, I hope you like what you saw. I hope you learnt something. If so, hit that like button down below. While you're there, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when the next one's coming. Leave me a comment. Ask me questions on anything you've seen, anything you want me to do. Just hit me up. See how we go. Thanks for watching. Share this with all your friends, anyone you think might be interested or benefit from this kind of operation. And I'll see you on the next one.